All right, guys, let's make a quick crypto video here today. Bitcoin is down today, 105,705, down from 111, where we were a couple days ago. You know, it's funny. Everything right now with crypto and the stock market is basically based off the tariffs. So here's the situation. We had, a couple days ago, we had a federal judge come out and he basically said Trump can't do these tariffs, or at least some of the tariffs he can't do. That pumped the market. It pumped Bitcoin. Everybody's like back into these markets because it kind of took away the uncertainty. People are like, okay, he can't do the tariffs, so we're kind of back to the way things were, you know, status quo. Then another federal judge, an appeal, came out a day later and said, well, no, you can't do that. Until we make a decision, he can do the tariffs. So now the tariffs are back on. That happened yesterday, and then Bitcoin essentially started to dump. And of course, the stock market started to dump too. And then today, you have this news. Trump accuses China of violating a preliminary trade deal, and that's making the market dump. So everything right now hedges on these tariffs. I'm kind of bored with it at this point. I personally think Trump needs to just basically, you know, just finish this tariff thing up in the next month, because the stock market will not pump and Bitcoin will not pump until there's some sort of settlement here. Basically, everybody's just waiting on the sidelines right now before they get into these markets, because they want to know, they don't like the uncertainty. And to be honest with you, I don't like the uncertainty either, but I understand we have to do these tariffs to bring manufacturing back to this country. But the problem is with these federal courts coming in saying you can do the tariffs, you can't do the tariffs. What that does is it almost makes the tariffs kind of like less powerful. You know, it's almost like, well, a lot of these countries are just thinking, well, if Trump tries to do these tariffs, they're basically just going to rescind them anyway. So it pretty much means that they don't carry the weight that they did before. So really, Trump just needs to make a deal with China and all these other countries, get it done. Once that happens, Bitcoin's gone to all-time high, $120,000, $130,000, and then you're going to see your altcoins start to run. Until that happens, guys, nothing's going to happen. And it damn well better happen in the next month or two, because we only have until really the end of the summer, going into October, according to the 4-year cycles, for this bull market to continue. But if you look at things, every day something's different. We might have news that comes out today. Today's Friday. We might have news that comes out at the end of the day that says Trump has made a deal with Europe, and then the markets are going to pump. Like, you just don't know. Every day it changes. It's kind of like living with a bipolar woman. You don't know how she's going to be. One day she might be happy. The next day she might be miserable, like hitting you with a shoe. You just don't know. And that's kind of how people are right now with crypto and stocks. And like I said, nothing's going to happen until we come up with a deal. But I can tell you guys, the good news is with the stock market dumping, I bought a little bit of GameStop 2 days ago. I'm buying some more GameStop today. I'm all in GameStop. I think GameStop is going to do extremely well once the stock market takes off and Bitcoin goes into a bull market. So it's definitely an opportunity, but I understand people being a little bit bored. I try to concentrate on other things and not get obsessed with it. Somebody was in my comments, you know, talking about Bitboy. It's kind of funny because I haven't really even thought about Bitboy for about a year. I was making all these videos about a year and a half ago saying how he was going to end up broke, in jail, or dead. Most likely in jail. You know, he's been back and forth over the last year, you know, whatever. He's been a big train wreck. He left his wife and cheated and whatever. And it looks like he hasn't made a video in like about a month or two. And a lot of people are saying he's in jail. I found this article on Cointelegraph. This is from about a month ago, 2 months ago. Actually, it's from 3 months ago. It says, crypto influencer Ben Armstrong arrested in Florida. Ben Armstrong, also known as Bitboy, claimed on March 22nd that he had a warrant for his arrest over emails to judge. So what Bitboy, because he's such a freaking crackhead, what he's been doing is, like, he'll get mad at the judge who's involved in his little case against Discovery Crypto. So we'll start, like, sending them threatening emails and, like, making YouTube videos basically threatening them. That's like the one no-no in life. Like, you don't threaten the judge. Like you can threaten anybody else. You just don't threaten the judge. Like, that's the worst thing you can do. So they locked him up. My guess is he made bail on this one, and then they threw him in jail again because nobody's heard from him for about a month. So Somebody else was saying, well, maybe he's dead. I think if he was dead, we probably know about it. He's either in jail right now or he's probably in a mental hospital. I couldn't find like too much. They were talking about it a little bit on this video. I'll play a little bit, but it's like kind of like speculation, like where Bitboy is right now.
He said, I think Ben Armstrong is still in jail. Am I right or am I wrong? He has a new video out, but it feels like someone just cut Ben from old footage to make it. He doesn't mention anything about the current $100,000 Bitcoin price. And then, it just did some generic talking about Bitcoin. So,
and obviously, when Bitcoin hit $100,000 a couple weeks ago, obviously Bitboy would have made a video. So obviously he's in jail or a mental hospital or dead. I'm leaning more towards just jail from threatening the judge. He probably couldn't make bail. I mean, if you're threatening a judge, they're going to make an example out of you. I mean, trust me. I mean, you do not want to threaten a judge. Like, you can do anything else in this world, don't threaten the judge. He probably didn't get bail. The judge probably said, fuck you. I'm not giving you bail, man. You're threatening me. You're threatening me. I'm the judge. You're not. So he probably gave him no bail. He's probably awaiting trial. He's going to be spending most of his life in jail and broke. I mean, I've been talking about this for the last year and a half. I've been kind of mean to Bitboy, but he's been a big scammer over there. I've been talking about this for years. I made this video like over a year ago, just basically talking about Bitboy and how he's going to end up broke and destitute. I made over a year ago, calling this 100%.
Back off if you taunt them. Like I said, Bitboy got too much power, too much money. You gave too much power, too much money to an idiot, to a crackhead. Let's be honest. And this is how they react. He thinks he's God now. He thinks he has this big audience. He has all these attorneys, and he thinks he's unstoppable. And like I said yesterday, everybody in history who's had that attitude has ended up getting crashed and burned or gone to jail by the government. You never beat the government.
Anyway, so there I am calling everything a year ago. You guys can watch my videos. All you idiots taking Bitboy's advice, Ben Armstrong's advice, he led you right into the gutter. And here we go today, Rand Nooner talking about... Anyway, so it's been 2 years. For 2 years straight, I've been talking about how Bitboy was going to end up broke, destitute, in jail, or dead. I still think he's probably going to end up dead at some point, but usually jail comes first. So it is pretty bad, but we'll see what happens with Bitboy. But a lot of people gave me a lot of shit. So a lot of people gave me a lot of shit for shitting on Bitboy, but I was right, guys. You can never listen to a crackhead. I've worked with a lot of crackheads as my job as a private investigator, and they always end up broke and destitute or in jail. Never trust a crackhead. So there's Bitboy. We'll see what happens, but if he is in jail for threatening a judge, we might never hear from him again. Like I said, that's a big no-no. So what else do I want to talk about? That's old news. We already covered that. Oh yeah, so Rand Nooner had this guy on pretty much talking about how the economy is pretty much fucked. Now, if you guys follow my videos, one of the reasons I've really needed Bitcoin to go into a bull market this summer, which I think it's going to, guys. Look, it changes by the day. It's a roller coaster. It's just a roller coaster. Is because I do think we're going to go into a recession. I think the whole rate situation is going to be a problem. I think housing's a problem. And I do think we're probably going to go into like a 5 to 8 month recession within the next year. And that's kind of what this guy's talking about, just how, the Fed isn't lowering rates. The economy is kind of in bad shape. Now we have this tariff situation and something's going to break. And it's kind of interesting. I want to play a little bit of this guy.
But I mean, this is just the reality. I mean, I think the world is kind of a little nervous. They don't have a lot of trust in the states right now. And that uncertainty is creating a high interest rate. And tariffs could lead to way more inflation. And so interest rates are probably going to be very stubborn, I think. I don't think they're going anywhere for a while. The only time I think rates are going to probably get cut is if Trump actually forces it, if he can, or we go into some big financial reset and the feds are like, okay, we got to start cutting rates because we're just killing the economy. We're killing our country. We're killing businesses because things will eventually slow and people just can't service the debt. So it doesn't really matter. I'm a technical trader, so it really doesn't matter which way something goes. We just wait for it to pick a direction and trade with the trend. But overall, it is bad news for the economy. There's no doubt it's scary for the majority and for the economy to have high interest rates.
I think I heard you saying on someone else's podcast. I think so saying like we don't try and predict it. We just work with what the charts are actually giving us, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I really don't think next year is going to be good for the market. I think it's going to be really bad for crypto. Like I think once we get that blow off top, I know a lot of people are talking like $200,000 Bitcoin. I think like 140, 150 guys. And I think it's going to happen relatively quick when it happens. I think we're going to get some good news on tariffs. The stock market's going to pump. Crypto's going to pump. We're going to get a little alt season where you get, your Cardano goes to $2 or $3 or whatever. Your Ethereum goes to $5,000. I think it's going to happen quick. And I think you're going to have to get out really, really quick. If you're in GameStop and all like MicroStrategy, like you got to get out because I just don't I love Trump, and I don't think this has anything to do with Trump. It's just we're due for a recession. We have the inflation problem. The Fed's not lowering interest rates. I've been in real estate now for the last 10 years. Like these interest rates are freaking high. You have car repossessions at all-time high. You're getting like 10, 11% interest rates on a car. And it's like it's a bad situation. In fact, I was actually going to make a video about this. Like car repossessions are so high right now. If you go on Indeed or Monster.com and you type in tow truck driver, they're willing to basically just take you off the street and train you how to be a repossession agent. I've found these jobs as like $25 an hour will train you car repossession. Like that's how big of a business it is right now. That's not a good sign for the economy. And especially with the interest rate situation, housing. I was trying to sell this condo. It took me like 6 months. I ended up it turned out to be a big disaster. Like the whole thing's a disaster. So hopefully we get this bull run, guys, this summer. I think we are. And then we can kind of just go from there. But other than that, that's the Bitboy news. That's the crypto news. Yeah, we're down today. But the thing is, Trump could tweet something tonight. Oh, back on track with China. And the market goes right back up. It's just like you don't know. But I think Trump realizes that his whole legacy is based off the stock market. And he knows this volatility in the stock market. It's been going on now for 2 or 3 months. It can't go on much longer. Because he knows he's surrounded by smart people. It's going to crack. Eventually something's going to crack and we're going to be in some freaking recession. And the whole tariff thing is going to make the recession even worse. And there's a lot of people in crypto that are supporters of Trump. They're going to be pissed off at Trump that he killed the bull market. And just your traditional investors over. Like, look, if we go into a bull market, we're going into a bull market. We got an over $100,000 Bitcoin. Like, if we get $150,000 Bitcoin, $3 Cardano, $5,000 Ethereum, then we go into a recession, nobody in crypto is going to give a shit. They're going to be like, okay, we got our bull market. We got the bull market. Now we're dumping. That's how it always goes. But if this whole tariff situation or whatever's going on with trade or whatever, if that makes it so we don't get a bull run with altcoins, Trump is going to be hated by crypto people. And I think Trump knows that. So, I don't think he's going to let that happen. But anyway, guys, that's it. Like and subscribe. Talk to you later.